Hello, MSers. I'm back on YouTube. Spotify ain't working for me. Every time I try and download the last video, it just downloads the whole thing and then loses it. Won't allow me to post it. I'm sick and tired of that. It's back to the crap that it was doing when I stopped using it in the past. I went back and it was working fine, and now it's not working again, so I'm just gonna stick with YouTube. I get more followers that follow me anyways. I gotta get the wife to shave my neck. I see I'm getting a little werewolfy. Now I got like a long ass hair that's growing out of the side of my ears somewhere. Can't find it now because that's too much other long hair back there. But yeah, I get hairs that grow right out of the side of my earlobe, and they'll be like that long, and they'll grow within like 2 days. I don't know what the heck's going on. I'm woofing out. But yeah, I want to bring it back to YouTube. I'm not going to promote it as a video to promote with all my followers because most of my followers are comic book related. So I'm going to just post it and then you'll have to go into my MS folder to find it if you don't see it. But yeah, I'm going to get back to the weekly, once a week or every 2 weeks at least, doing an MS podcast. The dementia podcast is over with. I'll probably do one explaining the final things. But other than that, I'm just, if you want to find out why, you can watch that dementia podcast and it'll explain what. Other than that, I've been basically going through tons of stress, tons of anxiety, tons of things have been going on. Basically getting kicked out of the family home, wanting to buy it, but family won't let me. I found a clause where a disabled member of the family, if they were a caretaker for a family adult, at least 2 years prior to them going into a home, which I did it for 6 years, then the disabled family member can buy the house under fair market value. They think they're going to get 400 to 440 grand for the house. A year ago, the house was valued at around 240,000. Almost 2 acres of land, just outside of our village, with a split level style multifamily home. But the windows, the doors, the plumbing, the electrical, the concrete, and there's so many things that have to be repaired. You gotta put up over 150 grand into this place to get it to where it needs to be anyways. I know what's wrong with it, so I'm like, I can gradually fix it over time, and I got friends in almost all the fields to get work done, so I could do that. And I went to the bank, my wife and I, to find out how much we could afford for a loan, since you're going to be paying 12 to 1500 bucks a month on average for a rental anyways. Might as well put the money towards a home payment instead. And we were okayed for 170,000. And I went to my family with that offer and said, I'll give you 170,000. The stupid home that they decided to put mom in is costing 7,000 a month. So that would give her 2 years in the home. They have a thing with the clause with the home that once she runs out of money, she'd still be able to stay in that home, but she'd have to share a room with someone, which I don't think would be a problem with the dementia. Right now, even wouldn't be a problem. But yeah, she's got enough between my offer on the house and stocks and everything else that she could easily live there for probably 5 years. But My oldest sister is POA. I'm second POA, so that don't mean shit. You gotta be the first POA, and uh, she said no. So said no, and the 6 years we were here, we have no value. We never took anything for taking care of Ma for 6 years. I paid for all the groceries and accessories and everything else. Only thing I didn't pay for was gas and electric. And they're like, oh, that don't mean nothing. You're her son. Even though you've had to spend every day for 6 years with her, might have got a few hours here and there break from her, but never got a whole day or a few days to just take my wife and go for a ride, go for a vacation, go somewhere, go do something. But no, we were stuck to about a 25, 30 mile radius of the house to get stuff done or take mom with us. And yeah, we got no value for that. So just get the hell out of the house within 3 months. And we're putting the house for sale. No, you can't buy it. We don't want you to buy it. It's like, what did I do? I don't know. But that if you want to get hear deeper about that story, then check out the dementia closing podcast that I will do explaining all why I'm not doing dementia talks anymore. uh, other than that, yeah, a shit show. So my anxiety and stress has been activating a bunch of my MS shit, making it worse, and then also bringing me a couple new issues I wasn't too overly thrilled with, like my body parts starting to freeze, my numbness going further up my arms. Used to be forearms to fingertip, ribs to toes. Now it's more closer to the shoulder to fingertips. And then my arms will go cold once in a while. And that's just stress induced, I guess, which isn't good because I did get my shingles shots, so I hopefully don't have to worry about that. But anxiety can set shingles off on people over 55 or so, in their 50s on. So I was happy to at least get those two shots out of the way. I suppose my coffee's getting cold. Yeah, it's cold already. Ugh. Yuck, yuck, yuck. All right. Other than that, I'm just going to give you an update of what's been going on beyond that with doctors and stuff. I have basically the center of my left foot has about that wide of a band that goes all the way across the bottom of the foot, around the heel, up the heel, behind the heel, up into about halfway up to the calf. And it's this band about that wide all the way through that area that feels like it's getting stabbed, electrified, burned, ripped, torn when I step down. So I got an x-ray done, and my one bone spur is now up to two bone spurs on that heel, my left heel, and that's my crooked foot. So that doesn't help. So I'm probably getting the spurs from walking wonky on the stupid foot. But when I wear Crocs, it kind of breaks it, doesn't allow it to be as painful as it is without any shoe wear or with shoes on. Shoes on isn't as bad as barefoot, but it does still happen. And Crocs just seem to cushion it more, not allow it to push down on the spurs as bad and set it off like it does without them. So I got an appointment, I don't know, I'm going to say a month or from now for that because you can't get into frickin' doctors after COVID, which is stupid because a bunch of doctors quit and the ones that are on are so booked you can't get into anything. Speaking of which, I was supposed to have my big MS neurologist appointment. Oh, not my big one, but my next one on New Year's Eve. And that's when I fell and face planted the wall and basically took out a couple bookshelves, just got my finger jammed in a door and slammed the door shut over the finger, and I couldn't turn my body, so I had to stay face first and go all the way down the wall and the bookshelves and just kind of beat the shit out of me. And by the time I got everything done and the problems I had, the video day and all that stuff, ended up I was like a half hour late for my video appointment and no one was there, no one was answering. And so I just said, screw it. What good was the appointment going to be, anyways? It's just going to be told more stuff that they won't do for you and what they have for ideas for you to do, which is usually physical therapy, which I'm not going to pay $240 a session to learn a couple yoga moves, stand in a room, leaning on a table or tilting, towards and away from the wall, and just trying to build my balance in my legs. I can do that at home for free. I have, I do, well, I did do tons of yoga. I would like to get back into it, but I'm trying to get beyond this body pain, which they aren't helping me with. Uh, it just hurts too much to stretch any muscle, move any muscle, and trying to work around it, especially now with all this packing and moving I gotta do. It's like with no ACL, MCL, anything in my knees and stuff, it's like I gotta set a box on the steps, walk up 2 steps with my hands on the steps. Move the box up 2 steps, go up 2 steps, box up 2 steps, go up or down, whatever. Down's easier because I got a new hand cart with some nice poofy wheels. Doesn't trash everything. I can put a few boxes in the hand cart and go down, but I can only go down a couple stairs. Then I gotta step a couple stairs, down a couple stairs, and step a couple stairs. It's a pain in the ass not having being bone on bone with your knees and everything, and just yeah, it's gonna be a fun move. Got a storage shed lined up that hopefully I'll be able to get into April 1st. Start filling that with as much as I can. Probably have to rent a second or a third one. I don't know. And then who knows where we'll end up. We did find a house last night that I'm waiting on my realtor to contact me so we can go look at it or whatever. It's basically within walking distance of my wife's job. It's in the village, so you're gonna have to stupid. And we got one of the highest water bills in the state in our little village, which is so stupid. But the way it looks, and it's just over our amount of our loan, probably by about 15, 20 grand. I figure maybe make an offer and see what happens. If we could get that, then we could at least move shit straight into there, and then I'd pay the 2 men in the truck guys or some movers to come and move my shit for me directly into the house, and then I wouldn't have to worry about it. Which would be nice. And I just had to pack it, get it out to the garage, or pack it and just leave it in whatever room I'm packing it in, and let them come and do it. I was a mover for so many years. I ran Mayflower Moving and a backup for United Van Lines and all that stuff, and did all the independent companies and all that. And loved it. Got paid to work out, but it destroyed my body. uh, I was stupid. The biggest thing I did by myself was a baby grand piano. I took the legs off and stuff and wrapped it up nicely, and I strapped that baby to my back. We designed, me and my partner that ran the companies, we designed strapping equipment and stuff, which was stupid because we came up with all those things. The little coasters that you put on the couches and stuff to slide them around, the little sliding tables, the straps that help pick everything up, and we made all this shit that make it easier for us to move, and stupidly didn't make the products and promote them, and then companies came out with stuff like our stuff later on. But yeah, we were stupid that way. But we were just thinking of ourselves. We weren't thinking about get rich quick schemes or anything like that. But we designed some pretty awesome strapping equipment, so I was able to strap it and then put the straps over my shoulder and pick up the baby grand piano. I did also used it for washers, dryers, refrigerators, all that stuff. Stupidly did some big uh, moves where I had to do special things with machining equipment and stuff to get it out of basements and stuff. And we had a regular grand piano one time that the person did not want to give up. They built the house around it and only had a spiral staircase going downstairs, which you're not getting it that way. So they had us bring in a construction crew, cut the side of the house out. We strapped it, wrapped it, strapped it, pulleyed it, did it so it came out that side of the house, which was the opposite side of the driveway. And we had to take it up over the house and bring it back to the other side of the house so we could get it over there and get it loaded up in the truck. Everything went fine, but it's just crazy what people will do because that cost them an arm and a leg to cut the side of the house out just to get the piano out of that upstairs loft. But he wasn't giving it up. I would have left it up there because it was in a loft already. It would have increased the value of the house, I would have thought. And he could have just bought a new one, but apparently he had some type of attachment to this piano, so he left it. I don't know why I'm into this rant. Oh yeah, moving, having to move. Yeah, I don't know why I'm getting into that, but yeah, I did it for years, and now a house like this would have took me and two other workers 3 days to pack and move. Basically, you have one guy. You all sit there and start with a room, pack it, and then once it's packed, one guy goes on to the next room to pack. The other two start hauling shit out, back in the truck. And yeah, a house like this would take us 3 days. This is gonna take me 3 months and some just to do it with me and my wife. So it's gonna be interesting. But hopefully we'll find a place, not end up having to play the stupid apartment bouncing around crap. It's like it's a seller's market right now, not a buyer's market, not a renter's market. So it's hard to find anything worth a shit. And there's nothing in our price range, of course. Everything's at least 250 on up, and most of that's just for freaking land. So yeah, I'll shut up about that. But I missed that MS neurologist appointment because of all that shit. And I didn't want to go up there on New Year's Eve anyways. That's why I did the virtual appointment. So I could just, it's like I'm not going to run around Milwaukee on a holiday and have to deal with all the cops and all the crap and traffic galore and everybody trying to get off work so they can go out and party for the end of the year. So we did that, and then I contacted them, let them know what was up, why they didn't, asked them why they didn't even check on me. It's like the last time I had a virtual appointment where something went wrong, they contacted me by email and phone, and they found out I was having problems getting logged on. I forgot what I was hitting wrong or did wrong, but it wasn't bringing up the video, and they called me. We got it working, did our appointment, everything went great. MS neurologist, they didn't give a shit. They didn't contact me for nothing, so I contacted them and told them what happened and what's up, and they're like, "All right, well, you are due for an MRI. It's been a few years, so let's get you in for that." Went through a new MRI place, uh, which sucked because I was in the town with my other MRI machine, which I had no problems with. I would have rather gone to the hospital and done it through there. Uh, but they sat there and got that appointment set up. I went and did that last week, and it was the worst MRI I ever had. This was a triple MRI. I don't know what that meant. I don't know if it was like lower spine, upper spine, and brain, or they, because it's usually just spine and brain, and then with and without contrast. But this is like a 2 hour long one. Put you in the head cage. Luckily, they could take the stupid cross section off the eyepiece, so I didn't have to look through that the whole time. But they left the head cage on the whole time this time. And usually the head cage is on for the brain part of it, and then they take it off, and I don't have to deal with it for the rest of it. But they left me in the head cage the whole time. My little guy is dressed up against the stupid head cage, and I couldn't move my mouth, so I just had to breathe out of my nose, which had that much gap between my nose and the wall of the head cage. So if I would have had a bigger nose and a bigger chin, I would have been pressed tight and wouldn't have been able to breathe hardly at all. Uh, and sliding in and out with being tight in the tube, being a bigger guy, arms kept going like this as they're moving you back and forth. So my rib cage just started killing me. And then I had this thing stabbing me in the back of the head, which ended up being part of the head thing and my hair tie kind of pushing against each other. So that was like a knife stabbing me in the back of the skull the whole couple hours that I was in there. And then you get the moments when it's heating up and you feel like you're in a sausage tube sitting in an oven. So that's freaky and just annoying and just sucks. But yeah, we made it through it. Not happy. Don't want to go have another one for a few years. Hopefully, I'm just I was not happy about that at all. But I want to know the results. I'm hoping this week I'll get the scans in my email in my chart thing. I know the last ones came through there, so I was able to check all the brain scans and spine scans. Actually, the last one they only did a brain, which irritated me that he didn't do the brain and spine. But yeah, this one just the contrast sucked. Everything everything went wrong. I mean, I'm a floater, so it's hard to hit a vein with me. But they sat there, and I still got the bruise here. It's finally almost gone. I had a bruise up here a couple days after, or up here. But they did like 3 times in this area. They did the thumb area. They did the top of the hand two two times. Went to this hand, did the thumb, did the top of the hand. Looked at this area, but didn't feel good about it. So they went back to the hand for one final shot, and they finally hit it. They did hit the vein once in the arm part and got part of the fluid in there, but not enough. So they ended up luckily hitting it again on the final poke in the top of the hand, and then got the rest of the fluid in. That was annoying because usually you're only allowed 3 per person, 3 misses per person, and then the next person has to do it. But this MRI place only had 4 workers in it, and 2 of them were secretaries, I think, and 2 were nurses. So you didn't have a head nurse or anything that they could fall back on. They didn't have a ultrasound machine, which is nice because they can use that so they can see the vein and watch the needle go right in it. They didn't have none of that stuff, so I just had to get continually poked by the same person, which is wrong. The other person should have jumped in or something. I just don't understand why you would have it set up like that. But it sucked. Not happy. It's over with. Glad. Find out what happens, and I'll talk about that on my next episode of the podcast. Hopefully, I'll have results by then and know if anything grew or if anything multiplied, or who knows, maybe my MS is gone. I'm cured. Sorry, not sleeping good lately. Can't shut the brain off. Constantly wondering where we're gonna be moving to, how we're gonna move, what we're gonna do, how we're gonna pay for it. Yeah. Life is fun. But hopefully we'll get the results, can go over that, and yeah, we're just gonna start doing the MS podcast again on YouTube. So keep an eye out once a week or once every other week. Roughly, I will be putting something out, hopefully. So keep following Under the Cult of MS, rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend, give us those likes, and we'll make some more of these soon. Thanks. Bye.